Good afternoon to our viewers. This is D&J Drives on the 17th of August 2024, doing a very special drive today to celebrate or commemorate our 2000th subscriber. When we started this process, we would never have anticipated having 2,000 viewers, in fact 2,000 subscribers. In fact, we didn't even start off with that thought in mind. We just wanted to do this project to showcase the road network in Barbados, and then suddenly we've developed a little community, people who send us messages and positive thoughts and negative feedback. Positive feedback is all welcome. So we're doing a special today. We are doing a drive from Speightstown. We're starting at the office of the late Barry Roberts, Dr. Barry Roberts, who was so qualified that he was known as Mr. Barry Roberts, Hugh Barry Roberts. So his office is just at the entrance of Speightstown. We've done a Speightstown video before, and this roundabout should be familiar to everyone. That's his office over there. So this is where we're starting from today, and we are going to avoid the coast road because we've done quite a number of drives along the west coast. This will be mainly inland. So we will move from Speightstown to Holetown and then make our way to Bridgetown and finally end at Oistins as a sort of special because of our 2,000 plus subscribers now. We ask you to please continue to spread the word about this channel. We are getting many ideas from our supporters of things that we could do to enhance the channel. As you know, we did a few drives in Trinidad. Here we are passing the Alexandra School. Anyone who had seen our Speightstown video should remember all of these scenes. So we mixed it up a bit with the drives in Trinidad, and we want to do that every so often, as far as possible. If we visit another island, to include it in our channel. So this is the heart of Speightstown. We've just passed Republic Bank on the right. This is Queen Street. Quite recently on the news there was coverage of Fisherman's Pub, who celebrated crop over and gave an award to one of the band leaders. This is Fisherman's Pub. It's a very popular stop in Speightstown. Takes you over a bridge, and there's a nice sign here that we can't show you because obviously the road is too narrow to change, but it gives a little history of Speightstown, and it says that Speightstown, the capital of the Leeward parishes, as it was called during our early history, is the second town of the island. It was developed in the 1960s on land owned by William Speight, a Jewish merchant, and the town was known as Little Bristol until the 19th century because of the great volume of direct trade existing between itself and Bristol, England. In 1654, the town was captured by the invading forces of Oliver Cromwell, who had come to control the royalist supporters of King Charles I. So that's just a bit of history of Speightstown. This is the Speightstown Fish Market on the left, which goes out behind there to the the new jetty, which is quite a sight for anyone visiting. You must come to Speightstown and take a walk out on that jetty. We've just passed the St. Peter Parish Church. As you know, St. Peter, or rather Speightstown, is within the parish of St. Peter. And in every parish there is a parish church. So the parish of St. Peter, we've just passed the parish church. St. Peter Parish Church, Anglican. Our regular subscribers must be tired of hearing me say that over and over, but some things we have to repeat because there are some viewers who will be seeing things for the first time. So over time we may be a bit repetitive, but it's all for the benefit of the specific video. As we make our way around Sand Street, we note we're not seeing too much sand at the moment, so that's a good thing. On our previous Speightstown videos, we turned right to make our way down the coast. But this video is not about Speightstown, but about the drive from Speightstown to Oistins. There's the Hayward development on the right. A rather upper middle class residential area. This was the Haymans Bay Hotel there on the left that is now defunct. We make our way along Highway 1B and we pass Port St. Charles on the left. Port St. Charles is a very upscale residential development where the owners of the condos have their docks outside of their home for their various vessels, yachts and so on. So that's Port St. Charles. Similar to a seaport, or rather the Bridgetown port, but instead of commercial vessels, it's personal. And this is Port Ferdinand on the right. We will go here just to drive over the lift bridge. And Port Ferdinand also has facilities to dock yachts and so on. This area here is very peculiar in that it goes from the very wealthy homes to very modest homes such as these. This area is, this little village is called Sixmans, and we'll just take a little drive up here and turn right back because we're not doing the coast. It's just to show you the difference in the housing stock. So we just turn here. You can see how close the homes are to the road. We had Sixmans in St. Peter. And we make our way to Holetown now. We've covered this area before, but we didn't think it would be good to do a video from Speightstown and exclude this area. So we turn right just after Port St. Charles and make our way up to the highway. This is the wrong turn we just made. We should have passed Port St. Charles on our left. So our viewers just got us Port St. Charles right ahead of you there. As you can see, that's where we should have turned. So you got a little extra drive that wasn't intended. This is just a little cul-de-sac, 6-man's cul-de-sac. I think I got a bit excited for the turn by Port St. Charles, but at least you can see the development that is occurring right opposite Port St. Charles. There's a new roundabout here to accommodate this development, and that's the back of Port St. Charles there on your left. You can just see the little docks there with the vessels. I hope the camera did pick it up. And this is the left turn that we should have made a few minutes ago. So right after the Port St. Charles, there's this left turn, and if you look all along the left, you will see a side entrance to Port St. Charles. We make our way up to the highway. This road is Maynard's or Retreat Road. If we wanted to get to St. Lucie, this is the road we would use. There are developments all along on the right. Maynard's, and each of these right turns, if we were to go into each one, you would see some really lovely homes, very well appointed. There's the Sugarcane Club on the right where we just passed. So we are ascending at the moment, and it's interesting that many people refer to going down Speightstown, because from my inquiries, in the older days, the residents up on these parts would refer to Speightstown as going down to Speightstown, because essentially you have to go down the hill. There's a massive solar farm on the left. Not sure if the camera picked that up. So this notion of going down to Speightstown, it is my theory that it has taken over the culture, because no matter where you are in Barbados, whether you be in Christchurch, St. Philip, far east, far south, People always refer to going down to Speightstown, never mind that Speightstown is in the north. So essentially you would be referring to going down north. It's a peculiarity that I never understood, but I understand the context. You can see the architecture is rather quaint, old-time chattel house there. So if we went left behind that blue vehicle, we would be heading up to St. Lucie. We're turning right to make our way to Holetown using the inland routes. So we turn by that gas station and make our way to Highway 2A. Our regular viewers should recall that Highway 2A takes you all the way back to Warrens, beginning at the Darcy Scott roundabout. So we could go down that hill just where you see that ZR vehicle, that minibus, and get down to Speightstown again, or make this left turn, which takes us down to Holetown. Just pull this side there to let some of that traffic that's building behind us pass, because it's rather selfish of us to be driving slowly on a major highway. So we pass the Waterhall polo field. See if we can turn in. The gate is closed. I made an error. This is Whitehall Polo Field, but it's really beautiful up in there. You can see the home of one of the owners. This is essentially the entrance to their home. I think earlier I said Waterhall Polo Field, but that's the one in Apes Hill. This is Whitehall Polo Field. It's really beautiful up in there. Just wait for some of this traffic to pass. And we're on our way. So as we pass the polo field on the left, behind all of those trees, there's a massive expanse of land, and it's just a lovely polo field, and it's very beautiful, very quiet and private. But you would never know that from just taking a casual drive down this highway, Highway 2A, aka the Ronald Map Highway. St. Luke's Academy is on the left there, a relatively new primary school. Large solar farm to the right as we make our way to the Rock. Another lovely residential development in the north. If you notice, there are no street lights here, if you can see. Camera is picking that up. So when you drive here, there are It's a very interesting experience driving here at night, especially when some people want to speed. So there are these cat eyes, as they call them, the reflectors on the road. They help a bit, but it can be quite unnerving, especially if it's raining. We will turn off here at Haymans Market. Now this turn used to be the main turn into Speightstown before the road was compromised. To the left there you can see they're still deconstructing a major party during crop over. The party that was there was Bliss. And you can see there's a sign saying road closed. So you can't go down there anymore at the moment to get to Speightstown. This is the new Haymans Market. It's quite the lime now. There are private residences to the left, and then there's parking on the right here. This is Haymans Market. This is the new liming spot for teenagers and a place to come and get food and even collect 4-day morning costumes for crop over inside of here. This is one of Barbados's newest areas of entertainment. Highly recommended for anyone visiting. Just a little pop in and out of Haymans. And this area is actually called Haymans. And if you just look quickly here on the right, this is the area where the Bliss Fete was held. So during crop over there are some big fetes. There's the Mayor Fete. This is Mas Mayor Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, has an annual fete. It used to be in Strathclyde and it's now at Elaro House, at Elaro Court, the official residence of the Prime Minister, but just on the outer grounds. And then there's Rise, Bliss, as I mentioned, and a few others. So crop over has evolved over the years, and if you ask me, it's starting to almost resemble Carnival. The week of Carnival, the week before Carnival in Trinidad, where there's a fete every night, or the 2 weeks leading up, crop over, which begins on the 1st of July, comprises many events. You have the tents and so on. One of the big things is the fetes, and these fetes are all-inclusive fetes like in Trinidad, and basically have the same things that you would find at fetes, all-inclusive fetes in Trinidad, including corn soup and doubles. And it was so entertaining to go to the Mayor Motley Fete, or they just call it Mayor Fete, and to join this long queue. This is Baker's Woods on the right, by the way. To join this long queue to order doubles, and finally arriving, you get doubles but with 1 barra. So I had to tell the people this is not doubles, this is singles. And it was quite funny to me, because the fetes are taking on a sort of TNT persona, but lacking in that authenticity. And some of these fetes actually have Trinidadians and Tobagonians behind them, believe it or not. We continue on Highway 2A, making our way to Holetown. We're 25 minutes in. This will be a long drive because we're covering the 4 towns as a special to commemorate or recognize the fact that we now have 2,000 subscribers. So this is almost like a thank you drive, a thank you to our subscribers. All of your support and for everyone who helped us to get to this point. We are at this famous junction where a traffic light was installed because years ago there was no traffic light and pedestrians were killed here. Big public outcry until the government of the day installed traffic lights, and it was seen as a major accomplishment. In fact, I remember the member of parliament for this area was on the news almost like a hero being brought into town, recognizing and celebrating the installation of these traffic lights. Years later, we now have protests about the said traffic lights because of the traffic that they supposedly create. And now there's a big cry and they want the traffic lights removed. And the solution is to acquire the surrounding lands to install a roundabout. So there's a lesson in there, you know. Public service is a difficult job because you can't please anyone, because within 5 years of being a hero and getting the traffic lights installed, the MP is now enemy number 1 because of the traffic that it has caused, mainly to the residents who live higher up. As we make our way down Porter's Road, we just want to dip in here to show you the entrance to Royal Westmoreland. Remember, this is our inland route. So Royal Westmoreland is a gated community, very wealthy homes, 1.5 million US and the like, and there are like about three entrances on this side, and there's an exit on the other side. If we were to drive through there, you drive right through the area. Look at this sign here, 1.9 million pounds. Royal Westmoreland. So this road, as I said, is Porter's. There's a side entrance, and on the right there's another piece of Royal Westmoreland, but on the other side. So this area here is very, very upscale. There's another gated community on the right there. Another entrance for Royal Westmoreland on the left here. then Westmoreland Hills on the right. All of these are gated communities. You can see it's quite private with the palms. Another entrance there on the left for Royal Westmoreland. I'm not sure if that's a service entrance. Never went into that side myself. And we are making our way down to Holetown. Then there's Sugar Hill on the right, yet another gated community. And all along the left are very large homes with a few smaller ones scattered in between, because obviously before all of this development there were regular homes. You can see the architecture of the landscaping. It gives you a sort of private feeling, very cozy. And then some more modest houses out here on the right. All along we are descending, if you have noted. The name of the road is, at this point, is Westmoreland Road. So the area proper is Westmoreland, with developments such as Royal Westmoreland. This is a nice little cul-de-sac here that we like to show our visitors. A gated community in there, Huron Court, and then some lovely homes on the left, just to give you an idea of the area. The road is nicely paved. I believe this used to be a sugar factory on the left here. And we get back to the west coast. So recall, we could have driven along the west coast from big house on the left there, from Speightstown to Holetown in a few minutes using this road here. But we are doing an inland drive, so we are now back on the main road, Highway 1, or the West Coast Main Road, as I like to call it. Coast Road, because everything to our right would be just hotels and then essentially the sea. St. James Parish Church. So we are officially about to enter Holetown. So we've come from Speightstown down Westmoreland into Holetown. We are officially in Holetown, into the belly of it, the heart of it. We also did a drive of Holetown, so these should be familiar scenes to our viewers. A bit of Saturday afternoon traffic as we pass the Holetown Public Center. Nothing much to add here because we've covered this area extensively. Previous videos, previous drives. We're gonna make a left at Molyneux Road shortly and head back inland to go from Holetown to Bridgetown. Now if we stayed on this road, the West Coast Road or Highway 1, we would get all the way into Blackrock and to the University Drive and hit the Mighty Griner Highway and get into Bridgetown in a few minutes. But we are not taking that route. We are going left. So the big Sandy Lane Hotel is ahead of us, if you remember. But we've turned off onto Molyneux Road. Notice how lovely the homes are here, and villas and resorts. Sandy Lane Hotel, Sandy Lane Golf Club. It's all out here. A point of interest is that Tiger Woods' wedding was held at the Sandy Lane Hotel. It was quite a big deal at the time in Barbados. Tiger Woods could have chosen anywhere in the world to get married, and he came to Barbados at Sandy Lane, one of the most expensive hotels in the region. And of course the golf course itself is world renowned, so it's not any run-of-the-mill facility. This route is quite scenic for those who love trees and green and so on. It's a nice drive up here, especially very early in the morning. It's very nice. Clean air. If you look all the way ahead, you will see a hill that takes you into the inner country, St. Thomas. You should be seeing a bridge ahead of you. Takes you across to the Sandy Lane Clubhouse on the left, where there are weddings and so on. This bridge here takes you across. And in peculiar Barbadian style, we see very humble homes right in the midst of it all. You can always find that in Barbados. Luxury and poverty in the same space. Or if not poverty, modestly appointed edifices. So we are back, about to turn back onto Highway 2A. So recall we turn off Highway 2A at the junction, what you call the Royal Westmoreland Junction. You could turn left to go to Apes Hill, or turn right to go down Westmoreland. We came off of Highway 2A at that point, went down into Holetown, and we're now making our way back up to the highway. Back on Highway 2A, and if you notice there's a little sign on the right approaching. It's around there that we started our Holetown drive some weeks ago. So we're gonna stay as inland as possible to get to Bridgetown, and we'll pick up the speed so that we don't make this drive too long that it could become difficult to watch in one go. Those pillars that we just passed a short while ago, I was trying to remember the name of it. It's a fancy name, but what it does, it captures, it records vehicles as they drive through, and it can detect if your insurance is paid and your taxes and so on are in order. Well, when they are eventually installed and activated, there are supposed to be a number of them across the country on major roads to enforce the law, as happens in other countries. But it's been going on for about 3 years now, and they have not been activated. But from what I can see, they appear to be fully installed, but for whatever reason they are not yet activated. I think that would help a lot. It's a huge pothole. I felt it for the vehicle. Ouch. Guess I wonder the tire didn't split. So we are in Welsh's St. Thomas, and we do have a Welsh's St. Thomas drive, St. Thomas Drive. We're coming to a point where we've done so many drives that it's all coming together. It's very exciting. But of course it will take years for us to run out of areas to record in Barbados, so we just plan them as we see. My son, he's the real planner of these things. He designs these drives, doesn't say anything at all, uses his hand signal. But I was so excited when he did speak spontaneously in one of our Trinidad videos, ironically. So we come to the end of Highway 2A. I'm still feeling the pain from that pothole. I'm worried about the vehicle. I hope it hasn't sustained any damage. Now you can see the beautiful Warrens ahead of you. Barbados's skyline, if you want. Just very modest buildings, but in the context of Barbados, these would be considered skyscrapers, even though they are not skyscrapers by definition. We turn at the Darcy Scott roundabout and make our way along the Barrow section of the ABC Highway. Everyone is supposed to know, or all of our viewers are supposed to know, where we are, the history of all of these roundabouts, why they are so named and so on. We've covered this extensively. Eventually people might be able to use our videos to find their way around Barbados. Wouldn't that be something? Here we are at the Everton Weeks roundabout. Exiting the ABC Highway, the Barrow section of the ABC Highway, making our way along Highway 2 on Green Hill. Just take a little detour through Friendship. It's just a little developed area in here where there's the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, the Warrens Health Complex. So this is inland Barbados. There's a football field / cricket field out there, but mainly football, but the villagers play their cricket there as well. Nice little development behind here, some traditional homes. First Avenue, Friendship. There's Friendship Mini Mart here on the right, it says. First Avenue, Northern Friendship Drive. That's what that sign says. And if we turn right here, this brings us back to Green Hill where we just turned off, Highway 2. So right ahead where you see those vehicles, that's the main road. But we're going to turn through Manor Lodge. Where you find several doctors' offices and dentists and offshore companies and Manor Lodge. So we're turning back on to Green Hill. if you want to get a better view of Manor Lodge and all of those areas, we've covered that in the Warrens video already, so that was just a bit of a detour. Some traffic congestion now going down Green Hill, aka Highway 2. All of this is Green Hill. Pet store and garden store on the left and the right. Grocery store. Rayside Construction on the left, that's the entrance. That's one of Barbados's long-standing construction companies. This building on the right once housed Piano Man. Building seems to be under renovation. There's no roof on it. This is just Barbados, really. This is what it's like to drive in Barbados on a Saturday. Just a regular inland drive. And we're coming up to a very interesting site. We can't turn in, but the name of the building is Terrell Court. If you look straight ahead on the camera, you can see the Central Bank building. So Terrell Court is to the right of us, just after those traffic lights. You will see a white wall with some orange at the top. This is Terrell Court. And what connects us as people? Terrell Court, or Terrell Court Heritage Village, is really a museum, and it was the home of Sir Grantley Adams. Now if you take a look at our Federation Park video in Trinidad, you can make a connection there, because Sir Grantley Adams, the father of Tom Adams, Prime Minister Tom Adams, Sir Grantley Adams was the Prime Minister of the West Indies Federation, and that was his home. If you came here and went and did a tour of it, you will see his home is still made up as it was at the time of his death. His bedroom and whatever photographs he had at the time, they are all there. And I think the authorities did a very good job of turning that into a museum. There's a little slave hut behind with some history behind how slave huts looked and so on. It's a nice tour, but unfortunately the building could do with some repairs. If I had my way, I would never let it run down, because I recall doing that tour some years ago and it was just amazing. We are making our way down Spooner's Hill to get to Bridgetown. route essentially. This area is a mixture of lower residential and commercial. Zephyr's Bakery to our right, we just passed. The People's Mall. Name says it all. This is an area of the people. You can note by the architecture, the age of this area. Eagle Hall. Make our way down Barbary Hill. We covered here on one of our videos, I think the Black Rock video, we turned right at President Kennedy Drive. Our way down Barbary's Hill, and soon from now we will be in the belly of Bridgetown. There's a gas station to the right here and Carter's General Store, a small branch. And if you notice, the road here is well done and recently resurfaced, well marked. Bride and Stokes on the right, and New Dimension Ministries, a huge church, Pentecostal. We are entering the city of Bridgetown, the only of the 4 towns that is classified as a city, and obviously the other towns are not developed enough to be so categorized. So we, at those traffic lights, we exit Barbary's Hill and make our way along Baxter's Road. Baxter's Road is a very well-known name, and there's a lot of nightlife out here. Chapman Street on the left, you can come into Baxter's Road at night and have some lovely fish, maybe even nicer than what you get at Oistins, but by no means as popular. Now, we got some feedback from a previous video that I said the wrong name on this road. So we are on Baxter's Road, and at some point, looking for this sign, Tudor Street, yes. So this is Tudor Street. There is a sign there, so I was not incorrect. Someone provided feedback that Tudor Street was not at that juncture, but there is a sign. So just to correct that, viewer from our, I believe that was a Bridgetown video, someone gave us feedback that we used the wrong road. But I'm happy to say that on that occasion I was not wrong. I don't know all of the roads here. I can't claim to know them, and I do make many errors because obviously I'm not originally from Barbados, but I've been here long enough to know my way around, even if I can't say the names of streets, such as this street on the right, Subtle Street. Some good history behind that, but I'll leave that for your personal research to find out what is so humorous about Subtle Street and what people do there and what they shouldn't do there. So this is Milk Market Road now, Tudor Street leading on to Milk Market Road, and we could turn right to go to City Centre, but we've done that already in our Bridgetown video. So we are just going to enter Broad Street here at where we're currently at the corner of Milk Market Road and Broad Street. Broad Street is ahead of us. Scotiabank. This is the main street in Bridgetown, as we've covered before. You find all of the banks and all of the major department stores and anything you want, really. During crop over, this area was so lively. There were so many visitors here, and some of it spilled off from the Cricket World Cup as well. In fact, right now the government is receiving some criticism. Some people are saying that crop over wasn't as spectacular as it usually is, and some people are saying it's because of all of the attention that the government gave to the Cricket World Cup. Again, my point is, public service is not for me, because you just cannot please people. I enjoyed the World Cup and I enjoyed crop over very much this year. Making this point as we pass the Norman Centre. Heroes and the Parliament on the left, the old Treasury building. When you approach Port of Spain, you know, okay, I can see Port of Spain ahead because of the spectacular skyline with genuine skyscrapers by definition, and you know, okay, I'm at Port of Spain. But Bridgetown sort of just creeps upon you, because if you don't know that, if you're a visitor and you don't know, well, Bridgetown is just behind that building, it just creeps upon you, because there's no real there's no skyline other than the Central Bank building. When you see that, then you know, okay, I am approaching Bridgetown. One of my favorite views of Bridgetown is this bridge right here, juxtaposed with the Central Bank building, the Republic Bank building. This is the Granville Williams bus terminal, recently renamed for Granville Williams, late Archbishop in the Baptist faith, I believe. I thought that was a very fitting tribute. This on the right, we've covered that before. Freedom Park, lovely green space, outdoor facility. We are now on Fairchild Street leading into River Road. I hope my voice is drowning out all of that music that we are passing through, because we have a few videos that have been subjected to copyright. Some people who use YouTube as a form of living may think that our videos attracting their music may somehow take away from their earnings. This is definitely not an earning opportunity for us. That's the Queen Elizabeth Hospital to your left. We've covered that before. We are now 1 hour in, and we're making our way from Bridgetown to Oistins. the fourth town of today's drive. Just to make the point, we are not doing this for any monetary gain. This is simply because of love of country and a strong desire to showcase the road networks, or the road network, as we make our way around the inner Walters roundabout and we hit Kalima Rock. This is Lower Kalima Rock with the now defunct Earthline Convent on the left, National Disabilities Unit on the right, who recently had a flag, the Barbados flag, flown upside down. Very unfortunate. And instead of going through to Upper Kalima Rock, we turn right onto Culloden Road to keep you inland. Take a look at the lovely trees ahead of you. That area, that used to be the dance academy, but it burned down some years ago. But I love driving through that area because it's so sheltered and green. So that's my area ahead there. But we are turning off at this illustrious Royal Bank building, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to our right. Culloden Road. So I have a friend whose son was born here. He's originally from Trinidad, and he lives in North America now, but his son was born here when he lived here for a few years. And this note is for you to say that the road ahead of us, Beccles Road, is where the Bayview Hospital is located. That's where his son was born, and we keep promising to do another drive to show that area. The Bayview Hospital is currently being renovated, so when it's finished fully, we will do a drive there to show the world what the new Bayview Hospital looks like. This lady doesn't understand the traffic signals, and the car behind us is blowing. So instead of turning right to go to Bayview Hospital, we head up Beccles Road, which becomes Dalkeith Hill. Turn right just to keep our viewers inland. Dighton Road. This is a rather long route to get from Bridgetown to Oistins, but we've covered so many other areas before. We want to make sure, as a treat to our viewers, we stay as much as we can inland as possible. Not the smoothest road to take you on. Hopefully it hasn't affected the quality of the camera, but we'll be soon at the end of it. And here we are at the end of Dighton Road, turning at Sunny Services Limited. That's been there for so many years, a cleaning company. And we make our way along Darrell's Road. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. If it is Darrell, it is D-A-Y-R-E-L-L''S. I hear some people say Darrell's Road, Darrell's Road. I'm never sure what to call it, but that's where we are at the moment. Nelson Road to the right, that's Navy Gardens, a well-established, long-standing residential area in Christchurch. We are officially in Christchurch, but not deep Christchurch, because right ahead of us, if we stayed along this road, Darrell's Road, we would get to the south coast, we would get to Bubba's restaurant. That's the famous Accra Beach Hotel ahead of us there in pink, which we've covered before. And we turn left onto Golf Club Road. Chinese embassy is to our right, and the ambassador lives to that house higher up on the left. He or she can basically walk to work. Some very exciting times in Barbados. There's a lot of development taking place, and if you come to this Golf Club Road, you will see the construction of Rockley Residences. There's a sign ahead of us. 2 and 3 bedroom condos right at the Rockley Golf Club, this is the entrance to it. It's going to be a fantastic 40 condominium development in 4 buildings. As much as COVID handicapped Barbados, it has really rebounded well. There's construction all over the place, and it's very exciting. A lot of opportunities for investment. A lot of Trinidadians and other Caribbean people love to invest in Barbados. So we're gonna turn left. We're exiting Golf Club Road, and of course Golf Club Road is named Golf Club Road because it's at the Rockley Golf Club, which we just passed. And we are now on Rendezvous Hill. Rendezvous Hill takes us back up to the ABC highway, just at the tail end of the Barrow section of the highway. So you can see what an amazing development the ABC highway was. Brainchild of Tom Adams, late Prime Minister. It was his idea to construct that highway all the way from Warrens and Cave Hill down to the airport. And it is my understanding, as we make our way up the steep Rendezvous Hill and this recently designed mural, that there was a lot of negativity and objection to the construction of that highway, which essentially modernized Barbados and improved the transportation significantly. And that's why it's named for him. The first part of the highway from the airport is the Tom Adams Highway, ABC Highway, Adams, Barrow and Cummins. No need to go into that in detail because we have a full video with a drive along the ABC highway explaining all of its history. So we are at the top of Rendezvous Hill. These cars are exiting on the left from Ford's Road. That area is well traversed. People come down Rendezvous Hill and make that right turn to get into the city. If you follow our drives, you'll definitely gain a great understanding of how the roads in Barbados work. If you can see to the left, the extreme left, there's a glass building. That's Sagicor head office. Sagicor's head office, and we are just in a bit of traffic here. I always enjoy seeing these fruit vendors to the right here selling their sugar apple and pineapple and plum. Reminds me very much of Trinidad, but it's so Caribbean to see, you know, the hawkers on the side of the road selling their fruit. So we dipped on and off the ABC highway at the Barrows section, and we make our way along Highway 6 into Sergeant's Village. Staying inland as promised, as much as possible. We don't need to cover the highway because we've done that many times. These are all new roads to our viewers and subscribers. We hope that all of our viewers will become our subscribers as we build this community around the Barbados road network, with a few guest appearances from other places from time to time. I think when we included the Trinidad videos, it added some spice to the channel because it attracted viewers with a Trinidadian and Tobagonian interest who are now seeing roads in Barbados, because previously most of the viewers were connected to Barbadians. We now have Tobagonians and Trinidadians watching our channel and subscribing, and they too are seeing the roads in Barbados. So it's a nice exchange as we enter the Sheraton Center. This is one of the major malls here. There's a multi-level car park to the left. Multi-level as in 3 levels. The topmost level that isn't covered is not it's not in use very often, mainly at Christmas time when the mall is packed. And we laugh because when you refer to a multi-level car park facility and you think of other places, sorry to compare all the time, but for example in Trinidad, you wouldn't necessarily be inclined to refer to this as a multi-level car park, but it is multi-level in that it has more than one level. You can see the entrance here, one of the side entrances at Sheraton. We're just driving through Sheraton Center, Sheraton Mall. This is my favorite of all of the malls and shopping centers in Barbados. It's my go-to place. There's a nice food court. There's the Olympus Cinemas. There are like 5 of them. There are multiple stores and you can get anything really at Sheraton. This is my favorite place to come for anything like that. Good luck finding a park though on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and if there's any fete in Barbados. There's a barber shop here, there's FedEx, there's so many places at Sheraton. Teenagers used to come here to Lime, but they've been shying away from that because so many fights with the wild boys out here that some teenagers say it's too wild now. So they go to other places such as Haymans and Lime Grove. And the teenagers who lime at Sheraton tend to be the ones who live in the environs, such as where we are now as we make our way along Highway 6. This area is Vauxhall. The Shirley Chisholm Primary School, recently renamed from the Vauxhall Primary School. And we're about to pass a facility that can be seen as the pride of Barbados, the Globe Drive-In Cinema. It's to our left, that's the entrance. You can't find too many drive-in cinemas in the Caribbean, far less throughout the world. The drive-in cinemas are almost a thing of the past because people have Netflix now. People hardly go to the cinemas. This right turn would take us to the Haymans hardware store, which we've covered before on the highway. It brings you out to the Edwin Talma roundabout. We're staying inland, driving through what was a cane field on either side. Not sure if it's still used for cane, but previously it was, and I'm not certain whether it's privately owned land or government. We are approaching Oistins. Not approaching rather, but on our way to. As you can see, that vehicle is turning right. That takes you back to the ABC highway and it brings you just at that junction with the Dighton Griffith Secondary School, which we've covered, and the entrance to Kingsland Christchurch. This back road here all along Highway 6 is not the smoothest, but if you want to take inland drives in Barbados, this is what you will encounter. So we are, as my son says, we are not dressing up anything. We are not showing just the Parliament building and the multiple beaches in Barbados. We want to show you the real Barbados. For whatever reason, other individuals who do drives like this don't show the inner roads. They tend to focus on the south coast and the beaches and the Parliament building. So this rough road here, Highway 6, takes us through to Bannatyne Gardens, another upscale residential area in Christchurch, Barbados. So we can turn left to go to St. David's Church, which we've covered in the past, or turn right to get, we can't avoid hitting the highway now because of the route we've taken. It's impossible to get to Oistins without crossing the highway. the main ABC highway because we did not take the South Coast route. This is definitely keen on the left and the right. And it is my understanding that the land all along the right is privately owned, and the owners have been in discussions with authorities for many years to develop it, and it's been denied. Could you imagine how beautiful it would be to have condominiums developed all along there? But for whatever reason, it has to be kept into agricultural use, and there's nothing being done there on the right. So it's just green as you pass. So here we are, re-entering the ABC highway at the Tom Adams section, making our way to Oistins. So for a short while we're using the ABC highway. We approach the Henry Ford roundabout, which gives us the exit to go down to Oistins Hill via Lodge Road. So that's it there, the Henry Ford roundabout. Third exit. We are now an hour and a half into this drive. I hope you've enjoyed it and it hasn't been too long. But in one video, in one drive, you can experience the 4 towns of Barbados: Speightstown, Holetown, Bridgetown, and Oistins. Or as some say, Oistins Town. We're passing the Newton Industrial Estate on our right as we make our way down Highway T. T as in the letter T. We always make the point that the highways quite interesting in Barbados in that they are numbered from 1 to 7, I believe, and there's 1, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2, 2B, and so on, all the way up to 7, subject to correction. And then there are lettered highways such as the ABC, or there's Highway U, Highway T. Very interesting how the road network has been designed here. We make our way down Lodge Road as we pass the constituency office for Mr. Ryan Strawn, the minister in the Ministry of Finance, essentially the man who controls the money. He's a member of Parliament for Christchurch East Central according to his sign. This is Lodge Road, but officially Highway T. As you know from our drives, many of the roads are known by more than one name: the official name, the geographical name, and then the local name. This car has just turned off onto Water Street. Again, we've covered that before, but just reminding you to give you the context of where we're driving. sure you can see the sea from here as we pass the Aberdeen Jones Centre and Market. There's recently a shooting out here. Right around here. And to the left is the wall to the Christchurch Foundation School, which we've covered in a previous video, in the Oistins video. And we begin our descent into Oistins. This is Oistins Hill. I just love this hill. We've just entered Oistins, viewers, and we are coming to the end of our very long video. I think this will be our longest video to date. Yes. This site should be very, very familiar to our viewers, and it's the Barinda Cox Fish Market ahead of us, littered with solar panels. We are officially in Oistins. This is the heart of it. My thing I love to see, the fruit vendors on the left, individuals selling their various craft items, and we turn into the bus depot just at the Christchurch post office. We park in a way that we can give you a lovely view of Oistins Bay. Thank you very much for spending the hour and a half with us. We hope that you enjoyed this special. As I said, it was designed by my son to celebrate our growing subscription. We are now up to 2,000 plus subscribers, and this is our way of saying thank you. We've done all of the towns, the 4 towns in Barbados, just for you. Please like this video by clicking the thumbs up for those who may not understand that. We know we have some elderly and very young viewers as well. And subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family to spread the word about this mission, this father-son duo setting out to showcase the road network in Barbados, and indeed the very beautiful island. Signing off at 3:30 p.m.